Oops. Hi. Welcome, welcome. Metaphysical Mama. How's everyone doing? Sorry, I'm just getting my. I didn't want to miss my window. And I left my little thing here in the other room. I had to go run and get it. How's everybody doing? So happy Wednesday. Welcome if it's your first time here, and welcome back if you're coming back to join my crazy little nutty squirrel girl ass. We may get a little nutty today, hence the squirrel with the big acorn. And it's nut season. We just entered fall over here on the East Coast, right? And so the squirrels are all running around like maniacs. And so it's appropriate. And the whole world's gone mad, right? So it's an appropriate title and thumbnail, I think. 111. Turn this down just a tad because kind of screaming in my ear a little there. So I feel so good. It's quite thick at this present moment. It doesn't look so appetizing. Ready? Wait. I want to knock my on the thing. Check out my little homemade smoothie here. If you can witness that thickness, the goodness. It's a little thick in this cup. I have a bigger cup. It likes this cup better, so I'm gonna probably put that into this. But so this is a little more drinkable, little liquid gold. And it's like all the colors together mixed are gray or brown, right? You ever mix colors all together, finger paints and stuff? You have all these pretty, and then all of a sudden it's just like it looks like it's like doo-doo, the color of doo-doo, or right gray. Pinkies up and bottoms up. So good. So I put in this jammy, I put 2 stalks of celery, 1.5 cucumbers, green apple, I used actually canned pineapple in this one because I had a can of pineapple. So I put 4 rings of pineapple and some pineapple juice. Put a little sweetness and stuff, and pineapple is really good for you. And bromide, I think. A little bit of blueberries, just a tad of spinach, frozen spinach, little bit. Ginger, fresh ginger. Threw a chunk of fresh ginger in there. I just splattered on my card. Cukes, celery, green apple, pineapple, little blueberry, spinach, ginger. I put a little moringa. Usually I'd put some maca in, but I didn't bring it with me where I made it, so I didn't add maca in this one. But and I have fresh basil and thyme and sage, so I just put a little bit, 3 little fresh basil leaves, tiny ones, 1 sage leaf, a teeny one, just for the purposes, just for the benefits, and a very little bit of thyme, fresh thyme. That's all she wrote. Oh, and 1 small banana. So there's quite a lot in here. And when you take a sip, you feel invigorated. So I feel very nice. I love when I start my days, and I started my day with coffee this morning first, which you really rev your engine up good if you do this on empty stomachs. Or drink lemon water, a glass of lemon water in the morning with a whole lemon squeezed in it, room temperature water. That's like filling your tank up with high tests, and super oil and the best stuff you could put in it, and your body's like, woohoo, feels good. You can feel it in your skin. You feel it. You feel it. You can feel it. So anyhow, share that with you. Cheers. Salute. So I just wanted to, as the title says, and actually I might change the title after, words, witchcraft, wisdom, wackiness, right? Ooh, baby, baby, it's a wild world. So just getting into a little bit of, we're getting a little playful. So maybe we'll open the symbolism book and check out a word, and then also look up the etymology of it, right? And a word is spelled, which is witchcraft, because we use words to spell and speak and spell, right? And think, right? They become our thoughts. Thoughts are things, and they make things, they manifest. So as we're learning more about, the reality of our surroundings, and just allowing ourselves to be a little more open-minded and have a childlike imagination, so that we're able to see things, right? And a more healthy perspective, by also taking a look at things that may seem scary, bad, right? The shadow, the negative, all these words that we use to increase our fear and keep us hindered, stagnant from actually, right, finding that harmonic, key that puts us in a higher frequency. Yeah. And all we have to do is be there, right? Be here. Thanks for being here. And please like, subscribe, and hit the bell. I appreciate, it helps us grow. It's like we're all planting seeds, so that's helping, just say thank you and planting a seed, so that, other seed that we're seeds that we're planting and gardening here, and gathering and allowing, right, our gardens to grow as we go through, right, all the shit, right, that we need to go through in order to produce a healthy, abundant, right, garden. And I have Dave Matthews in background playing. I play Dave Matthews a lot. I play a lot of music. I'm always playing music. So I always have always music on my whole life, right? Bells on her fingers and rings on her toes. She will have music wherever she goes. And oh yeah, planting the trees and weather epidemics, right? And we are the world. So the more that we, people are talking about going off planet and worried about all this extra stuff, but are we putting in the energy that we need to right here to be abundant, healthy, harmonious, vibrant creatures, working in harmony with Gaia and Mother Earth and Mother Nature and our own masculine and feminine energies, right? Our intellect, our Adams and Eves, our thoughts and our feelings, and our divine nature, right? That we're able to create, right? We have divine intelligence and creativity. And if we're not using that to do so, then what are we doing here? Just taking up space, hanging out, complaining about what we don't have, and then harming ourselves, one another, the planet, the animals, up into the food we eat and the thoughts we think and the, ways that this whole, look at the, I mean, a lot of hurt feelings rather than putting in the effort and being part of the cure and the higher vibration, right? Of, you know, and it doesn't mean we're going to like be high vibey all the time. No, but that means that we go through our shitty shit times and, right, like we wouldn't know what it feels like to be real high vibing if we didn't go through really shitty times, right? And vice versa. So being able to accept where we're at in this now moment and know that it's not, that's what's not permanent, right? 202. It's only temporary, right? A momentary lapse of reason, or, you know, again, we're growing into, you know, we're metamorphosing or evolving or ascending or, right, growing, opening our eyes, right? Being able to see on a different manner, going through death and rebirth within the physical vessel so that we're able to birth our Christ consciousness, right? And come into this higher vibrational frequency, you know, which is what all the, you know, ancient scriptures and tablets and etc. and all those things are referring to. Well, one way of looking at it. There's so many different, right, ways, angles of perception, doors of perception that we're able to look through in order to have a different point of view, right? Makes sense, right? Let's have some fun. I'm just gonna no, hold on one second. Yeah, Dave had a little tiny hole in his pants. I didn't want to leave that sitting there because it would like oh yeah. In my cup. So thank you for being patient. It's real life here. So yeah, and I don't really ever plan on what the, you know, bleep I'm gonna say ever or do when I come on here. It's very impromptu, and I very much just let, you know, spirit come through and try to stay current in the now, right, in the now and present energies. So the things I speak up or whatever comes out in the videos that I do are all impromptu. I don't do much planning, and if I do, it never comes out the way I plan, or I end up talking about something completely different anyway. So I've learned, right? You know, there's a saying, I say this in a lot of videos too, right? Man makes plans and God laughs. So true. Right. And it's not that again, we've already also made a lot of these plans pre-hand, right? In the future. And I don't know, there's crazy shit happening right now because I mean I could feel it. They keep their I can hear their giggling. Like the munchkins in Munchkin Land. And you know, when spirit talks to you, right, it's not like right, words how I'm speaking right now, right, using the tongue of the devil, because when we speak using our human physical tongue, double slit silver tongue, right, that's our Capricornus. Capricorn is the devil. Physicality. Physicality. It represents our, right? So that represents that part of us. So again, you know, take what resonates and leave the rest. I say this often on my channel, you know, or it says it actually in every description. 1404. You know, we have different alternate, right? Alternate versions, virgins. If something is a new way of looking at something, then we're virgin to, right? Oh, it's new. And then Lucifer is, right, spark, enlightenment, the light bringer. So at first, something may make us feel like what? And Confucius, right? Confused, angry, unsure. Okay. Cain, Abel, Adam, Eve, all these different references of different emotions and thoughts and places where we can go in our mind and with our feelings, where we end up at, say, a crossroads where we have ability, able, right, to make a decision. Are we going to plant something, or are we going to, right? Are we going to kill it? Right? And we're constantly, right? Another acronym for the word God, acronym, one way of looking at that could be, right, generator, operator, right, in the center, big O, and destroyer. Generator, operator, destroyer. So we're always creating and destroying, right? Death and rebirth. We're always, moving on from one thing to the next. When we move on from on to the next, on to the next, on to the next thing, we're killing that present moment that we just existed in, right? So those, again, many things, right? There's just lighter versions and ways of looking at things to make us more multi-dimensional light beings, right? Vibing higher, meaning we're able to look at things in more, right? The mores ways, right? Like the rainbow, how many different, how many different things I say I put in here, but it's like, and most were like light green and whatever, but this is like, looks like straight up blueberry cobbler pie. I look like blue, it looks like brown and blue and brown. I'm having a little soup. It tastes really fucking good though. Like really, really, really good. I wish he even said, yeah, behind me in the background. I mean, I wish I could share with you. I kind of did. I shared the best I could. So, yeah. Yeah, many of these, right, terms of sentences, words, phrases, etc., that we use, right, witchcraft, puts us in different states of mind and different ways of feeling, right? And I did a divine feminine reading earlier. I have to upload it because I did a recording, recorded it. That's why I hate doing that, because it's so difficult for me to record and then try to upload it. I have it quite like it, I have it, yeah. If my internet doesn't work and I can't pop on and just leave it, which I'm aware most, like right now it says nobody's here, but there's nobody home. But that's okay. I know people see after, and it's just easier for me, and that way I don't get a time limit. So like I said, it's, again, I definitely live by the code that I spit out of my mouth, as far as, those with ears to see and eyes to hear. So being in the present moment, in the present time, we'll be right where we need to be when we need to be there. We'll get what we need when we need it. Right? Type of thing. And it doesn't mean just being lazy, sitting back, like, oh, well, it's just going to be like there and whatever. No. It takes work. It takes spirit work. Without faith is dead, and faith without work is dead. So either way, we have to put the work in. And just because others maybe don't see our work, because how many places do you go in your mind, the things that we're doing in order to, right, how did anything get created or manifested? Through the mind, right? Man didn't create, right, Gaia. Right? Mr. Walkman, save me. save me, stranger, if you please, or am I too far gone? So, you know, if we help, if we're helping assist one another in any manner, like sometimes I go to make a video, like now I see somebody and they'll come walking along the way, so they're gonna come knock on my window while I'm doing the video today. And that's okay. Sometimes, a lot of the time, I go to do a video or plan on doing one, and then I get a knock at my door, or somebody asks me to do something for them, or something, and then I'm not able to do, you know, what I thought. Again, right? We make a plan, and then God says, ha 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 ha, I'm just gonna switch what's in your hand. So learning to roll with the punches and go with the flow, and right, be like Wawa, be like water as we go through the end times, right? Or this is literally the end times. Confidence. It kind of came out in reverse here. So, right, maybe not being quite so confident in ourselves, which I totally, yeah, like it's like I will talk myself out of anything. Nervous Nelly, it's like, ah! You know, or we think we can, right? It's like, oh, I feel this way and I want to do all these thingies, etc. But we're sign language in, see. Love that guy. Aw, I love people. Hook success as a soul star family. Right? Make me smile. 39. Success. Also a 12. Also a 3. And then at the bottom we have trapped. Rephaim. Why does the cage bird sing? That's like asking, you know, like there's this story I think about Buddha, and he has this right really annoying apprentice around him all the time, and then finally somebody asks Buddha, and they're like, you know, why do you let that person hang around you so much when he's that way, right? So what does Buddha say? How Buddha become Buddha, right? We have to test ourselves constantly, right? I think the fat lady's singing behind me. We have to test ourselves constantly in order to not get too ahead of ourselves, not get too in our ego, not get too comfortable with say pleasures of the said flesh or any material things, right? Why is the world freaking out right now? How many people want things to go back the way they were? But we're not going back, you know, and respectfully so, right? That's what brings on a lot of this unnecessary fear. But also at the same time, it's okay because it's understandable and understandable why are going through those feelings and having those thoughts, and everyone's different. So some, you know, some have decided to do really shitty shit in some past lives and in this lifetime, right? So, and they ha 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 laughed it all the way to the bank, and now they're realizing, right? Did you bank on the day coming that, right, Judgment Day was going to be here? And most of them that I'm referring to in this now moment had like a suicide death plan, are waiting to die, so to speak. And it's like, right, and I think it says that in the Bible too. It's like, right, those are going to be like waiting to die, and nothing's going to happen. It's like they're going to be wanting death, and it's not going to be, what's the, oh, here said, tear the wings off a butterfly. That's the kind of stuff they've been doing. All right. I'm laughing. Right? Arr, ha, ha, ha. It's all funny. Right? As I have my little, like, a pirate hat. Arr. And what's a pirate but a privateer? They just use fancier witchcraft nowadays, languages, clothes, to look and appear, right? Master magicians, wizards, and warlocks. I should have Wizards, Warlocks, and Witchcraft Wednesday, right? Waka, waka, waka. And the Muppet Show, we got freaking Kermit the Frog for fucking president. And he's not even addressed as that. So I'm not, but yeah, Kermit. Does that mean binary system or non-binary system? Who's holding the remote that's making him talk? Who's playing? Pay no attention to that man behind the curtain. Wizard of Oz. Who got their hand up the Muppet's backside? Miss Piggy. I don't know. So some of us may look or appear to be trapped also, and we're just fine. We know we're exactly right where we need to be because we're aware everything's all love, and we're all here to learn lessons and help one another through the shit. Have you ever seen and I ain't knocking, hold on, let me also just like, right, what's the proper terminology and political correct terms? Let me just like, right, play devil's advocate also for myself in that sense, because there's also a lot of shit going on that I'm aware is being set up to make me and others look a certain type of way, and that ain't okay. But at the same time, it ain't true. So I ain't so worried about it, because it's like, if you have a question about me or my life or something, then you could direct connect DC, AC, DC, alternate current or direct current. I don't know. You guys have been having a pissing contest for quite a long time. They're both good. They both have different purposes. What's not cool is putting us in the middle and trying to piss on us with both, and then say you didn't do so. So, but whatever. I was like, eventually all the truth is going to come out, right? The video I did, oh my gosh, the video I did earlier, and I was telling a friend of mine too today, I had a big vision. They gave me a big download this morning of, you ever seen the movie Abyss? It was kind of like that, but it was like, no, it was like the, I pulled Libra last night and I pulled Libra today. Libra scales, right? Justice, Virgo and Libra, and sisters. Now Virgo constellation is different than the zodiac sign of Virgo, right? There's the house, the constellation, and what that represents isn't, right, the zodiac, the astrology. There's more. That's like, right, like we have different grades of school, right? Different degrees, different, again, versions and multi-dimensional ways. I'll put a little stuff in that. of interpreting, looking at, and seeing things. So if we just go one or two ways, right? Of course, you could go both ways at the crossroads, the scarecrow says. While we're dealing with how many tin men and wannabe witches casting spells and like, which is way different than like, right, what I'm referring to as just al natural, that things that we all do and the misinterpretations of the words. I'm lightening up the load by bringing in more, right, awareness and observations that spirit gives me in the now impromptu, right, an impromptu now moment, right, to play with. So to play with the words we use and be playful in the way that we communicate, so that we are able to have a broader view, right, broad spectrum, right, 5G. So we're not just like ding, ding, ding. Remember having a dial-up internet and all that? That also replicates us, right? Aren't we all we all operate as a machine, right? Depending on what we put in our machines, depends on how fine they run. And many have just all wanted to make money off of an idea or something that they see as magic or wow or yeah. So they become, right, they want to drink our, do they become addicted to want, they use us as a drug. And then if they don't have their way with us, then what happens? Then we get threats, ultimatums. They take our children from us. They make up stories and have us put in jail, beat up by police, all this stuff, all this fun stuff. That's all, nothing else. I can't think of, they say behind me, it's right in sync with what I'm saying. Ah, yeah, classic, classic. Ah, repeats, Peters, repeat. Georgie Porgy, pudding pie. If we say no, you make up a lie. And that's also, let me just reference to my lovely, I'm going to use the word black for the all due purposes, but like, right, slave is a very, right, again, the word slave, again, the caged bird. Are we not all a slave to what? Our own devices in some manner or form? Right? Being stuck in our head is being caged, right? So I say, it's like, I'd rather be out of my mind because that's where you can travel throughout space and time than be stuck in my head. But that doesn't mean I don't use my brain. Right? It's my intellect. But my whole body is a brain. I have many, right, atoms and cell. They all need nourishing and love and etc. They everything communicate. The different systems we're made of all have to communicate together, right? Just like how I'm communicating with my phone and the YouTube platform and Facebook and Google and whomever, right? You are that's now watching me blab to myself really presently, but I have, right, spirit with me, and right, we're never alone. So it's like, right, otherwise, why do we do all the things that we do to share? Some people are watchers and some people are, and we all are, right? Some of us watch others do things in order to gain confidence, perception, awareness, right? Laugh, right? Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. What are all the reasons that we watch a movie or watch a documentary or listen to music, watch a video, go to a show? Why? Why do we do it? Can you grab the reason why? Are you able to hold it in your hand? Are we not all entertained by one another? And not all of us are comfortable doing the same thing. So we all learn from each other by watching And sometimes wishing, oh, I wish I could do that. I wish I had the confidence to be like that. He's singing for you. I am no Superman. I am no hero, that's for sure. But I do know one thing. Where you go is where I want to be. Where are you going? Where do you go? Patience, authority, and compassion. So have patience, right? Because divine authority, like again, like being caged, right? Down in a hole, feeling so low. I want to fly. Compassion. So having compassion for ourselves and one another is half the battle. Mother Earth is happy, Gaia is happy, we're more happy, our fellow, right, brother, neighbor, etc., sister, etc., which is our brother, right? Where it's like we're all man. So we're all as hues of man. So, but we're upgrading from human into the next phase of our nanu extraterrestrial, ultra-terrestrial star DNA, right? Star seeds. There's many different beings here. And then there's a lot that are just right still in very much in you know, third dimensional 3D, the earth plane human, or and also that may have made the decision to right not partake in the right the ascension, so to speak, the evolutionary process. It's too much. They'd rather right rest in peace for a while and then come back, right? So their soul I boost back. So just for confirmation, don't be sad when beings that have made those decisions truly in their heart and it's confirmed with the authority of God, right? That's part of their soul path, right? So have patience, even though we may, right, we may have sadness, we want to express sadness. There's a lot of things we need to have compassion for. Maybe they've been a big dinosaur around here for a long time. They're just tired. They don't have it in them anymore to want that. They don't have that desire to, right? So if ones have already kind of lived out their spark, burnt the candles at both ends, and some beings, again, so I don't know why this is all coming, there's a reason for this, apparently. So I guess, you know, there may be those times. So yeah, some things I guess may be occurring that, you know, so we all may be losing some loved ones. So to have compassion and celebrate the life and look for, this is where you really have to dig deep and look for gold. Or that may be what helps save another being. Because it's like what Santa Claus or fairies, or it's like if you know, people and humans, if beings aren't believing and having faith and right, then why is anybody going to do anything? It's like, right, it's like if we're going to always do something and then people just take it for granted, or they're like, oh, whatever, why come they got whatever, and da. So then what does anybody, then it's like, well, okay, so then we're just gonna write close shop, Santa close shop, and turned into fucking Satan. So whose responsibility is it to be a little more grateful and to try to find some more ways of seeing where being courageous and taking a look at where we take things for granted, neglect ourselves, beat ourselves up unnecessarily because we think we're supposed to be dizzy from all this spinning, right? We keep doing things because otherwise this did ABC. Otherwise, 1, 2, 3. They want me to, they expect me to. So we want to treat others how we would like to be treated, but this has become a world of I want it and I want it now. Like, what is her name? Veruca from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. And there's always things with candy and poison and someone trying to find the other recipe or beat somebody else to the finish line or steal their idea or their patent. Look at IBM and Apple and all the, or again, who invented the fucking light bulb? Who invented the telephone? I did. It's like everything got to be, it's like there's importance to that. You know, right? Again, to be grateful of what gives us a spark or a fire, because it's like, oh, so then it puts us a little like, right? But things should be a little bit more of a playful competition so that all can appreciate and make a free will decision and be part of, right? Round, 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 round. It's amazing what a minute can do. And in just one moment, we can change a thought and move a different direction. We can get stuck in a nasty way of thinking and feeling, or we can use our wisdom and pick our head up and recognize, even if we have lost others, this is some important to my absolute divine masculines, which is all of us. Any of us that mentally, and then we get crushed in our heart. We've lost someone, something, thought you were doing the right thing and came back to XYZ. And he just said, I lost the plot in the middle of that one. Listening to the live show. So, you know, it's like Orpheus coming back for Eurydice, but he looked back. And he lost her. Again. You just said she was right there in the audience. You know, masculines. A lot of the time, your biggest cheerleaders and your biggest fans have been right under your nose the whole time. Compassion just flipped out again. Interesting. So, you know, believe in yourself. See, in the middle, I say that often, in the middle of the word believe, right, is what? The word lie, right? So we have to be very careful of the things that others are saying and presenting to be or not to be facts. Because, and also it doesn't apply for all of us. Do we all eat the same thing every day? Do we all like brush our teeth the same or what? Just, none of us are going to perceive or do anything the fucking same ever all the time. It's like so, you know, having discernment and using that tool to become more balanced is gaining wisdom. So you're not depending so much on spells and witchcraft. And that goes out to all the karmics and whatever that are like paying and using money and what have you. I haven't collected $1 to do a fucking reading for one person. There's one person I've done a reading for within the years I've done readings. One person, one person, one person. And I was guided by spirit to take money for it because it was getting marked. He just said, spineless. I don't accept, I haven't, not one time. And if there's any, and there's a little bit of a going on right now with my YouTube and website and all that, what have you. So I'm aware of it. Again, I'm not paying too much mind to it and putting too much focus into it. I haven't even done the stuff to like really grow my stuff yet. So if somebody else has been like taking all that time and energy to observe me, what I'm doing, and try to steal my ideas and has been copying and making a whole, it's like, well, kudos and power to you. Are you doing anything? Ain't nothing new under the sun, right? Are you doing anything different than anybody else has done throughout time, you know, in order to like steal somebody else's stuff and then present it and crap and get a patent on it and start making money and then try, right, the takeover? It's like, so again, it, I'm not the only one going through that, and we're very aware of it. So, and there's a lot more going on too. But this is what I pray, release, and relax. And I don't always love that word. But sometimes again, we do need to, right? Like, you know, if you haven't confronted your shadow side and like gotten all that stuff that you're carrying around with you emotionally and mentally on autopilot out, then maybe you do need to get on your knees and, you know, have a good cry and, you know, pray, so to speak, let it all go. But normally I said meditate, but I'll say like throughout time, like, you know, way back when I was in a really, really, really dark place, that's what got me. I mean, it's like I remember literally collapsing on my knees at one point years ago, but like literally you know, like I like flag up. And it's like, it's funny because bringing me back to that day, I, you know, I've gone through lots of spiritual things in my life, but that was more of a, I'll say, I guess, you know, religious God moment, where it was like when I was little and how it was a different, you know, and it was like, I gave up and it was kind of like, okay, I'm going to help you get up. And, but it's like, I remember like talking with God, I'll say that day, which is different than right when we're getting open channel and spirit and etc. You know, and that's when you really are going through your shit and being accountable and hitting it head on, and you buckle and break because, you know, because we all wear a mask for so long, right? So once we, you know, put down the bat and put down all the labels that we think we're supposed to carry and be, and, you know, for everybody and what everyone expects of us, once we start to let that go a little and remember who we are in there when we were little and all that stuff, right? It can be, it's very, well, traumatizing, right? Because we're allowing our inner child to be exposed. Okay, and that's how we start to raise our solar plexus, right? Circumcise the solar plexus, take care of the inner child. Right now, we're going to start being accountable for the inner child that, right? Okay, right, that we're that we have with God, right? That's like the Christ child that is within us. So then it's our own self. But we forget, it's like, oh, we're grown up now. We have a job, we have a family, we have to, we forget. But that little me, right? That little us is still in there, right? We just don't give ourselves permission to nurture. It's like, we're not supposed to be like that anymore. Right? No, that's too, you know, or how about don't you grow up, right? Those kind of sayings, which, you know, don't forget, like in Peter Pan and stuff, if you, right, think too old and think too much and too responsible, you get old and you die. He just said, yeah. And please like, subscribe, and hit the bell. Soul Tribey Tribe. One love. So yeah, I do prefer the word meditate. However, everything has its season, every, so, I'm just sharing, a very personal experience that I had, so, and I'm not necessarily, again, I don't carry too much belief in any system or any other man, um, you know, including myself, right? Because we're all faulty, we're all perfectly imperfect. So it's okay to be, God doesn't expect you to be perfect. That's just silly. And if you need to pray for something, pray for clarity and to see what you need to see, that you need to let go of, or just ask for things to be, right, taken, that are obstructing your view, that don't need to be there. And at the same time, make sure that you're, because if that's why I don't like this word, don't, if you are praying to a certain, say, deity and like, oh, and be careful, because then you may become the fucking prey, okay? And it's like, yeah, you're going to become the hunted. So there's a difference between, like, don't go like asking and using the gods and and etc. and whatever. Don't go summoning things like and using that as like a, what is it, Zotar machine, or a fucking like a fortune ball, or a what. Like I said, I don't accept. It's like you don't. The intention that is behind something carries 9/10 of the weight, just like man's law was possession is 9/10 of the law. That's an interesting concept and word that just came out. I don't know. Possessions. Demonic possessions. Things we think we own. Oh boy. I can feel it coming in the air tonight. Oh Lord. Woo! Oh no. Someone's house is burning down on a day like this. Okay, so yeah, I heard a friend of ours got their window smashed and their purse stolen from their car. Funny the way it is if you think about it. Somebody's going hungry, somebody else is eating out, right? Speaking of opposites, right? Is such a good song. Someone's heart is broken becomes your favorite song, right? How would we know to relate to? It's like, oh, if we didn't experience these things. So sometimes our greatest strength comes from our fucking most weakest times that we don't think we're gonna ever fucking make it out of, right? Hearing the laughter while the children play war. I used to always want my dad to play war with me. I've said this in many videos. It's, yeah, I always like playing with cards. Standing on the bridge. Cards. Yeah, war is like the longest card game ever. You have to use the whole deck. It takes like 3 hours to play, like Monopoly. Sometimes we just have to give up. But I always wanted my dad to play with me when I was little. And so I wanted to play the longest game possible, right? So I was like, what do you want to play? Monopoly or war? And sometimes it was like, well, how about like, great, shoot some ladders. There's another one. Snakes and ladders, shoot some ladders. Candyland. Halloweeny time. My daughter brought me a cutest little pair of pumpkin earrings. I have them soaking in some rubbing alcohol, so because my ears are so sensitive to that, like metals. I can wear some. I got little tiny butterflies in right now, but sometimes I can. It's funny too. That's something that as I've gotten older, like I used to wear like paper clips in my ears and shit, with like safety pins and like hang shit from them. Like I was an '80s kid, so we had some fun. Actually a lot of those styles are coming back. My hair was like this high. At one point I had my head shaved on the sides. I had like this high hair. I had like used like this color blue eyeliner. That was an 80s thing. If all my girls remember. Smoking in the girls' room. We used to smoke in the bathrooms at school. We were rebels. There's a freaking photo of me somewhere. I can't believe I'm saying, like standing on the toilet, smoking in a freaking bathroom stall, like 14 or something. Ay. Ay. But I've never really been like that. I just did, I just never really followed the rules completely. But I've never been a hurtful person. Never. I'm more Neptune, right? Self-sacrifice, and I'll be more passive aggressive. Nothing. I'll hold it all in and carry it all before I'll hurt you. Nature. That's my nature. But I'm also learning that I don't need to do that. And it's taken me a long time to be able to let go slowly. And again, that has to do with like energy harvesting, we call, or again, that could be like narcissistic behavior, or with the empath, which can be with our parents or boyfriends or what have you. Girlfriends, friends, right? Again, anything. Part of our nature, right? To feel other things and then maybe overanalyze and overinterpret, so then we become stuck, right? Instead of just keeping fucking swimming. We're like, we have to ABC, we can't, blah blah blah, blah 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 blah. We come up with every excuse in a fucking book except doing what would make us happy in that moment, because we don't give ourselves permission to be happy, which is so fucking stupid and silly if you really think about that. But that's what we all do unconsciously. Oh, I can't. Oh, but whoa. And then if someone challenges you, us, me, we, right? I don't really act like that, because I do appreciate constructive criticism. I do. I really kind of like it doesn't feel good. I'm not like, yeah, give me some more. Criticize me some more. No. However, it's like, but I'm very like, we're all different. So again, what's awesome for one, like he was just saying, may be real shitty for another, and vice versa, and all this stuff. So, to something better. What I want is what I've not got. What I need is all around me. Reach and search and never stop. If you could keep me floating just for a while. It's a Jimmy thing. the name of the song. Just for a while. Ha ha ha. Step out of your comfort zone. Step into a Slim Jim. Keep me swinging. I don't recommend necessarily eating this. Sometimes, I used to when I sometimes once in a blue, but holy heartburn, and I don't know that those are so good for you. You ever see what's a movie, Liar Liar? I'm kicking my own ass. He's in the bathroom beating himself up. Jim Carrey. That shit's funny as shit. Why is that coming up too? Liar Liar. Pants on fire. Hanging on a telephone wire. He lies to his kid. He makes all these stories up, and then he has to end up, and then he ends up, in the court when he's a lawyer. And he kicks his own ass in the bathroom. And he gets walked in on, and the guy asks him what he's doing. What does it look like? I'm kicking my own ass. So again, we beat ourselves up the best, right? Or just to listen to what somebody else is saying in their fear, or because they're like, yeah. Well, wait, whoa, how come they're saying that to you? We tell our kids not to listen to like strangers that are offering us like a ride or a puppy, right? We tell, right, or a cat or some candy, or can you come help, come here and whatever. What do we tell our children? We all grew up watching like Snow White, who had the poisonous apple, right, and dressed up looking like something else, or in Beauty and the Beast, right? That's like Athena. She's like an older, but she's a beautiful witch, but she dresses up. She's a beautiful woman, but she dresses up like an old like witch or an old woman, so that and then the prince, the king, judges her so harshly, and he's so rude. That's how he got turned into the beast in Beauty and the Beast, because he didn't appreciate his, right? He wasn't appreciating anything. He had everything, right? Material wise. It's time to release negativity. Adjustments are required. You're very close to achieving your goal, and the end of a tough cycle approaches. Adjustments are required. You're very close to achieving your goal. Gibbous Moon. I love that card. And the end of a tough cycle approaches. And we started out talking about Capricorn in the beginning. Don't forget, Capricorn started out a sea goat, then a goat, now a man, right? And they call it man with hooved feet, yeah? And a seahorse, the male, I think they changed sexes, or is it the male that actually gets pregnant or carries the baby, or like penguin? So again, like, right, they share the, or are able to, like in Working Media last night, I was watching, and he was like, he didn't understand human dating rituals. And he met Fozzie from Happy Days. So he was like, Fozzie was trying to school him on how to, right, like date. So he set him up with Laverne. But Fozzie said, don't you date women on your planet, or like, right, have interaction with women on your planet? And what did he say? He said, well, it's complicated. We're able to switch parts or something. Step out of your comfort zone. Nothing is yet set in stone. That's cool. We got a little like card rhymes going on. Step out of your comfort zone. Nothing is yet set in stone. And that's like, right? Wavy is the water. Right? Our emotional body just keeps swimming. But when we step out of our comfort zone, and again, we have a little faith, just a little tenderness, things just tend to work out one way or another. So we cannot finish the video. It's Halloween time. Like All Hallows Eve is approaching, right? In the Our Father, don't they say hallowed be thy name? Does All Hallows Eve mean All Father's Eve then? No. We'll have to play more. The First Panic in the New World. So this is, Connecticut Witch Trials by Cynthia Wolfe Poynton. The First Panic in the New World. Let's see. Since we're doing tarot, colonists believed that Satan could affect not just people's actions, but also their health, crops, and farm animals. This made his supernatural powers a very real threat. Though it was believed the devil could take many forms, common images depicted on this tarot card from the Tarot de Marseille, probably just butchered that, I apologize, de Marseille deck, created in Italy in the 15th century. He got rooster feet there, if you ask me. That ain't no cloven foot. Looks like he got a lion. This is different with the chain and like a hoe, a little rake thing. Hairy legs, like rooster. Goody garlic. Goody garlic, thou not having the fear of God before thine eyes, thou hast entertained familiarity with Satan, the great enemy of God and mankind, and by his help since the year 1650, which is also 121650, have done works above the course of nature to the loss of lives of several persons, with several other sorceries, and in particular the wife of Arthur Howell. Oh, like King Arthur. For which both according to the laws of God and the established law of this commonwealth, thou deserveth to die. Wow. This is like witch trials. Which we're aware, which we are aware. Let me just say something too, right? Bohemian Grove. Most of them trying to point the finger at women being witches, especially even, and men were also trialed for being witches and what have you, and still are. But I was about to say, most of them, men in tights. Most of there's mad men that gather together in their little covens. Almost say a lot, probably more than actual women do, and use words, numerology, and said witchcraft, warlock, sorcery, spells, words, printing on paper, the press, their hands, right? My precious. Meow. Oh, or am I dreaming? impact of Mary Johnson's confession. How old is this? I mean, how long? Oh my gosh. And then too, they had a lot of people confess to things that weren't true, right? It's like they would say too, like, great, they'd have women walk the plank. Oh, if they float, then they're a witch and we have to hang them or burn them. But what happens if you walk the plank and you don't float? It was just hour 10, 11044. So that, right? You drown. So they make it like either way, and then it's like, oh, that's what we call, right? The bully. Bully. Bobby Boucher. Bully. Bobby Bully. Creme brulee. The bully. Bully, bully. Well, we teach our children to, right, not tolerate a bully, but yet and then look at the world right now. You guys are all trying to force people in order to what? But you still haven't clearly given any like concrete definition of where that came from, what it is, what it's doing to people. You're just making up a lot of repeat narrative stories like the Black Plague, the Spanish Plague, Nuremberg trials. Like, I mean, how many other things? Like, if we look back all the repeat narratives that are being pre-scripted and just it's 303 have a little bit of a different twist and version. And the word corona also can mean twist, right? Corona, wreath means twist, altar boy, right? And frequency, vibration creates form. So different sounds, frequencies, what do they play in a church? Organs. What does sound affect? Every emotion that we have affects a different organ in the body, is attached to a specific organ in the body. It affects it. So in order to, right, also be higher vibing creatures, we need to tune up. We need to tune our instruments, right? Like St. Francis, let me be an instrument of thy peace. But if people just want to be right and on top or have knowledge and understand and be under the table dreaming, then, right, I don't know. We can get a booster seat and a booster shot for you. And I don't know what happens next. I know that they call hoes now, top, top, top. You're saying that you don't, you already know, that you already have all the answers, and you're gonna make people pay for it, or else, and you're gonna give them a bunch of BS to work off of. And is there some truth in that? Absolutely, but is it what they're saying it is? That's like saying, well, I don't know. It's read a food label. Like saying something's healthy for you, and what's going on with our FDA, with our Food and Drug Administration industry. I used to use the pyramid of power, Ponzi schemes, the food pyramid. Aside from like, this is just really like I've been working with food and had a passion for food and the earth that provides it for us. Like since I right came out of I think I came out with a wooden spoon, ready to stir and cook, and probably a knife in this hand, just for cooking. You know, so I've always had a passion for cooking and loving to, right, also share and right, cook well, feed others, right? A bartender, whatever I like have done in my life has been some kind of right of service or something that to right, provide comfort and see other people be happy, right? A moment, right? Passing a smile, right? Just a smile can change and make someone's whole day turn around, right? 306. All up in the mix. Right? And so can something miserable, right? Flipping somebody to freaking bird, bird, bird. Bird is a word, but a finger. Yeah, that's like, or somebody says words that are like not, so some not nice. That can affect our day the whole other way, right? Stuff like this. People calling us stuff like this instead of like, it's like, wait, wait, wait. Do you speak and spell too? Oh, okay, so you're one too, right? Right. And on top of it, atoms that want to be on top of it, overseers that want to be all, or little like great wormy worms that want to slither around and be sneaking around all over and spying and putting GPS and cameras and hooking your right, so they're all, ooh, this one jumped out and I didn't see it, so I had to pick it up. It was face down. Fiery climax approaches. Fiery. Beavis and Butthead. Oh, and that's funny too. We had the toilet paper shortage, right? When we anybody knows Beavis and Butthead, right? So there's so many different generations here. So there's lots of things to play with, lots of storylines, lots of different whether it's old school historical, Eastern philosophy, Western philosophy, right? Egyptian, Kemet, Sumerian, right? Native Navajo, star ancestors, right? The Blue Kachina, the Hopi prophecy, etc. However you connect in the many ways that you connect, right? Nursery rhymes, and again, right? People can say stupid shit like, right, like stuff like this, right? So it's like, yeah, okay, I'm a mom. I've always been raised, so I've always sat on the floor, gotten dirty with my kids, built aluminum can castles in my kitchen, allowed my kids to like, right, to my children, my daughter, to like, yeah, be who they are, and be supportive and support them with all the love that I possibly can muster up and give. Do I always have materially what I need? No, and absolutely not. Due to especially, right, you know, lots of again, lots of people like to alter, be the narrator, be the writer, be the I don't know. Anybody seen the what's it, Lego 2 movie? Um, and that's funny, right? Because it's like in I have to watch that again. But I was thinking of there's a scene where it's like Batman and then the divine creature, she like can turn into anything. And then and they're like kind of pretend Batman's like, yeah, whatever, da da da. And the other characters, it's like there's like, right, it's like Samael or Asmodee, or right, Samael. It's like the serpent. He like makes everybody else think they're just like him and what have you, and that like something else is going on or something. So he makes it look like, what's that called again? Like the Rico actor, the switcheroo. Man in the Iron Mask is coming up too. So, but yeah, he has them believing like that, or thinking, believing, thinking, whatever. Um, Same shit in a sense, similar, not the same, but similar though, parallels. or subdivisions of one another. Ow. That's over in the eye. You know, cutie doo doo I have here. He's been here all year, but it's Halloweeny time now, and since we're doing this. This in my window all the time, little doggy dog. And I have these beautiful, like, little eggs. A little dog. It's like Nanny. She, little dog in the window there, watches over my little 3 pretty eggs I have there in the window. Little, my little fun window. So Batman didn't like the chick, and then yeah, so the other guy made the other Lego guy and what's her name? I don't remember their names, but she's like they're like, you know, the tough guys, and they're like oh, and Armageddon. They're all scared of Armageddon. And then at the end, it was like the mom picking up the Legos, putting all the Legos in the bin. And it was like, you know, don't let mom in. Our mom be getting in or something. Our mama get in. Our mama get in. And it was like Armageddon, our mama get in. So you really have to play with words just like that. So they tried to destroy the whole marriage and the whole, like, right, big town party or big party, whatever. And the best friend, the friend, he thought that, you know, he was helping, and what's her name lied. She really was cute when she was little. And she was like, I was not cute. Anyhow, the masks we wear and the funny things we do because we think someone else thinks something else or feels a different way, and we don't trust ourselves and believe in ourselves, right? And we allow ourselves to pretty much just get washed away. We don't want to do that anymore. And that is always reversible, right? We may not be able to go back, but we are able to reverse things in order to, right? So every disease and what have you, really, and don't quote me as like a doctor and stuff like that, because I'm not getting into antics and fucking political correctness and whatever else and all bullshit. Thank you. Disclaimer. So, however, when you're in tune and when we have awareness and when we start to, like, right, we may have to deal with certain things for a little while. How long did it take to develop or manifest something? And is it bad, or is it something we're going through, right? When you're pregnant, your body changes, we get big and whatever. It's like, it ain't forever, but for a while, you can't see your feet, your back hurts, you can't walk, you know, there's like a lot of things that come into play. But then it, right, goes away after the baby's here, right? Then it also doesn't just go right away. It took time for our body to change, alter, hold the baby, grow, nourish the baby, have the baby, right? And then our body has to it takes time to go back to, or right, more back into more of its original form, right? So we don't know, say, what we're gonna look like after, what we're gonna be, how it's gonna happen, what's gonna precisely exactly happen. We're just all going through it together. And I, for one, I'm motherfucking super grateful for that. It's like one big fish, right? A school of fish looks is a whole shit ton of fish all swimming together like one mass. Eighty Rate Radio. That weird shit coming out of my mouth. What the heck did I say in the video earlier? It was like some I was like, what was that? It was like some like 50s saying. That kind of like goosebumps. No, it's spirit that or what that ready, 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 oh. If that means anything to anyone here, I don't know. Someone spirits. Some ancestors. Anybody's ancestors talk about like righty, 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 oh. Oh yeah. Oli, 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 oh. Oli, oli, oxen free. Oh. What was it before too? Something else. You know, I was like, what is that? I'm not... hogwash. I don't think I've ever used that term in my life. It was like a bunch of hogwash. I don't know what. So that was another, yeah. So that's a frequency that's coming in. Yeah. Righty, 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 oh, and hogwash. Justice is blind. Oh, so also, yeah, that vision I had earlier was like, yeah, the scales. I said I picked Libra a couple times, and in the last couple of days, kept coming out. And don't be afraid of me, though. He said, don't be afraid. Right? Oh, and tobacco wacky. Tobacco and marijuana are very, very sacred plants to us natives. And again, when it's been promoted that everything is so bad, well, again, why are you using it? How are you using it? What are you smoking? Are you smoking things that have like thousands of chemicals in them that you're addicted to the chemicals and you already had an underlying condition of emotional immaturity or depression or a state of right being, thinking and feeling that's negative and in a so and you're using right like chains or not sure what to do with yourself. So then yeah, but that's your the root issue, the underlying issue that started the behavior that you're now using something to make yourself feel better, support, right? That's different. So we could grade Adam blame Eve, Eve blame Adam. Thought blames a feeling blames a thought. You know, or they or blames a freaking the physical body for looking so good that they just had to touch it while they were sleeping. Who got their hands in the cookie jar? Could I have been anyone other than me? Do you have any other messages? Could I have been anyone other than me? Anyone other than me? Such a good song. Any messages we got, Spirit, that we need to focus on or take a look at or spend some time meditating on? Could I have been anyone other than me? 23 and so tired of life. Such a shame to throw it all away. Anyone other than me. Remember I said we have to look at life as a celebration. And death, when we have had, right, some cemeteries, we were caretakers of cemetery growing up. So for me, they're super peaceful. That's where I learned how to ride my bike. That's where I like went for my peaceful walks where I went to go hide and smoke a cigarette when I was younger. And I still go there now to go like sit like and like complete peace, right? It's like men don't, right? Us human don't interfere with the land there. It's quiet, it's peaceful. That's why we say rest in peace, right? Rest. There's a reason for that saying. It's gonna be like Thriller, where like I don't know, maybe it will be. I actually can't really answer that. I don't know. We may see shit come up out the fucking graves. I'll fucking know. That's not my but I am here to help raise the fucking dead. Absolutely. That's why it's like great dance, celebrate, celebrate. Because the more we're grateful for our own life and we reconnect with our inner child and raise the inner, right? Or raise the child, raise our inner child, it's able to rise up to the heart chakra, engage with the vagus nerve, VAGUS, right? That connects to our throat chakra and it connects to the pineal gland where Osiris takes his rightful seat at the throne in between both hemispheres of the brain. Could have been dancing. And you know, again, right? They had slaves and being picking cotton to make a lot of money. What was the first thing they had and I didn't even have that done. And not that I'm for or against, but I am aware that like I'm not supposed to put things up my nose, like, so why would I do that? Why would it even says on a box of fucking Q-tips, don't put in your ear. Why would I shove that shit up my nose? And I'm sure they do things a little more gentle. Like, I mean, there's been times where I have had to have like, right, I've gone to the doctor and they've like done other things where they've gently touched the ends of my nose to check for certain viruses and what have you. But to have something put up your nose here, this is your third eye, right? So that's making it right in between the Euphrates and Tigris River. Is that going up the Nile? To block the third eye, right? Talk to the hand, right? Set wants to set up Osiris. He doesn't want, right? Harad wants to kill all the babies in the kingdom. So these are just references and again terms of words. You should say usages and the many ways. You know, I'm just this is just what's kind of, there's many different multiple, right? Different ways and perceptions that we can look at things and open them up to allow them to raise the dead, allow them to live, breathe, be, vibrate. When people are like, that ain't anything, well, if it's a word that man made, then it's something. It exists. Vibration creates form, so it means something. But what does it mean? The picture in our head is going to be different than how something appears at times. Yeah. And can you grab the picture in your head? Sometimes it's very hard to explain what we're seeing in our mind, right? And the devil wants your blood, they say, right? So of course they're gonna, right? Adam and Eve in the Bible, the DNA was altered. The outsider. And trust again at the bottom. Watch, we got a jumper. Consciousness. And consciousness is where creation begins, babies. It doesn't mean that it's conscious awareness. We're aware, But consciousness is, right, it's like a comic bubble, a cell, a possibility. It's a, right, anything can go in, right, and then a positive and a negative. We have a positive thought. Now we have two lines in here, right? Two atoms, a positive and a negative, a black and a white, right? Yin yang. I'll flip that shit on it. I gotta flip it. So funny how things play together naturally in the spirit realm, supernaturally. You see divine synchronicities. And then some people could be like, oh, you're looking too much into it. Well, we're not running around outside scurrying all over the place trying to remember where we stored all of our nuts. We're just allowing, right, the golden acorns to come to us naturally. Which doesn't mean we're always like, oh yeah, everything's just totally like fine. It's like, no, hell no. I go through fucking anxiety. We go through, it's like, what the fuck is happening right now? There's stuff going on. We go through all the emotion, everything, all that too. But and then, right, we projections. What the hell? What is that? We, right? Projections. We project, our moon projects things. Trust again at the bottom. So that's the theme of the day, babies. Trust. Believe in yourself. Right? Nature always comes back to its original source. So allow yourself to naturally be you. Have some compassion for yourself. Your guides are here too. Your angelic guides, your, you know, however you, right? Your guardians, however that is to you. And be very careful with angels, demons, etc. too, because if you're trying to, like, again, speak to a certain entity, deity, etc., you might not be talking to who you think you're talking to. You have to be just careful. It's not like freak out and what have you, right? It's just, right, meditate and do what you need to do, but don't call upon other things to, like, right, to necessarily lead the way for you, because you may get misled, right? It's like, that's where you got to have discernment. It's more like that, like, right? You don't want to get lured by the candy man or the guy that's trying to bring you to, right, help, that asks you to help him find his lost puppy, or that has a big gingerbread house waiting for you, right? It's like, be careful of those bearing gifts. Be weary of those bearing gifts, or presenting that they have whatever, A, B, C, 1, 2, 3, right? Self-care is most important, and we are the resources. So if we're not caring for ourselves and coming from a little bit more of a balanced place where we use discernment and gone through that needle, we've allowed ourselves to travel, right, a little farther than the first, second, and third thought, right? We allow more branches, more fruit to bear on our tree, right? As they say in the Bible too, right? You could tell a tree by the fruit it bears. That doesn't mean like what kind of house you living in, what kind of car you got, how long you had that job for, you know, those kids you got, what's in your wallet. And also, there's a difference between when it takes a village and we're all raising our children and helping one another be, you know, at an even playing field, always coming as teacher, as student, as, right, mankind, meaning like, right, you're my brother, I don't want to harm you because that would harm me. So why would it, right? It's like, so those that are acting out in those kind of ways, And then it is upsetting. But if we're like, oh, da da da, and then we attack back, we're just as bad as them. Most people, it's like, right, what's this? Is it the Daniel and the lion? Right? The lion's like, rah! But the lion is in pain because it has a splinter in its paw. So every time it's stepping, it's like, wow! So everyone's afraid of the lion. Everyone's trying to kill the lion. Everybody wants to hurt the lion. And then the little mouse is like, oh, I'll help you. And the lion's like, oh, thank you, little mouse. He doesn't eat the mouse. He's grateful, right? Because the mouse like took the time to see why the lion was roaring. So sometimes something that seems so big and scary is just in a lot of pain and they don't know how to communicate, or we don't speak the same language, right? Babylon. So we have so much misinterpretation with how we all interpret everything, and then just, right? So we're not bad. We're actually really good. We're right, passionate. We get very passionate about what we care about, and by all means, we'll defend it. But sometimes, right, wisdom is knowing when and when not to. It's 333. Engage in something. When and when not to. Put your 2 cents in. When and when not to, right? Go to, right? War. Why would someone say, right, there's a problem over there and da da da. There's a movie, Blood In, Blood Out. That's a good one too. He just said, set it up. He's talking about something totally different, but the words set it up. And I just got flushed with heat as I said that. So when individuals feel less than, they can tend to, right, jealousy, envy, anger, etc. How come blah, blah, blah? You know, it's like kids on the playground. I wanted to play with that toy. Or I wanted the chocolate Oreo, whatever it is, right? And people will fight about anything. You want red or blue? What team do you want to be on? Vanilla Oreos or chocolate? Or vanilla or chocolate? Acorns or walnuts? I mean, it's like, what? If we decided to make these nuts the new fucking currency, we'd have a nut shortage, right? We're gonna go back to seashells, selling seashells at the seashore. We'd have a shell shortage. It's like, whatever people, you know, it's like, so what's the problem? The problem is the people, is we the people not allowing ourselves to, right, the time and space that we need to process things, so that we're coming from a little bit more of that place where we are treating one another how we would like to be treated, rather than jumping off the deep end, telling everybody else what they should do, and then after the fact pointing and blaming who knows who, right? Who's on first? They are. Who the fuck is they? Right? It's like, well, they said. Who said? Who'd you listen? Like, what prescription did you take? Which Kool-Aid? Which color Kool-Aid did you drink? What are you thinking? So again, it's like, it's just fear, right? Look, send love. It's like, rah! It's like, it's okay. Just send love to them, all them monsters. And we are sometimes the monsters too, right? Again, when we're scared, when we're put in a state of fear, right? Again, right? I'm always accountable for myself too. When I'm in a state of fear, it's like, whoa, right? I'm especially if I have to, right? If I'm in a reactive state of fear, right? We're not in thinking mode, we're in reactive mode, right? Especially if we're in mommy mode, that protective mode, which is also, I said this in another video too, right? It's like soldiers, warriors, right? They give up their love and their lives to protect what they all call, right, the motherland. So they're mothers also. They're protecting they're mothers of everybody in a sense, right? So that's still feminine, right? Emotion is feminine. So that's feminine energy. You know, and a lot of us have, you know, again, we fight other people's wars because we think others that we care about are in danger. What's the easiest way to expose who you really want, who they really want to attack? Tell them something's going on somewhere else, that they need help, right? They need you to fight their war for them. Look over there. Or, and then when you're there, like, oh, do you know what your such and such did while you were there? Or we saw them ABC talking to he or she or three or whatever, or they do, right, set stuff up to, or right. So there's a lot of things that people have been caught up in, or that they thought they were doing the right thing. They thought they had no choice. They've been, right. There's a lot of, right, word trickery and feelings of like, I thought that's where I was supposed to be, right? The patriarchal, the patriot act, being, right, patriot and patriarchal, right? Best intentions pave the road to hell. So we think we're doing something good, but we're digging our way down deeper and deeper, right? So, and who knows which, right? Which way is which, right? Time is fluid, so we really, time isn't linear. And we're coming from a spot. It's like, no, we already are here, but these other things were here before. We forgot to add the other part of the equation. So, right, we're looking back into the past. When we look at the stars, right, it takes how many light years to travel? Right, light years. And how fast is the speed of light? So it's like we're the Holy Grail cup that's, right, getting little by little poured into. We gain our, right, our soul, our colors, our vibrations due to the experiences we go through, right, in our conscious, in our dream states, in our lives, you know. And don't we dream while we're awake too? We think, oh, we go to sleep, we have a dream. Do you remember your dream? Oh wait, like when you're sitting at your computer, or you're sitting, like when you're driving, it's like you go into that. That's a meditative state. Brushing your teeth, right? In the shower, it's, right, different frequencies that the brain goes into, different brain waves, right? One of the V words is the, right, the delta now, right? So we have alpha, beta, right? Kappa, alpha, beta, kappa, delta. I don't know if there's an E one. Gamma rays from the sun, right? These are different, right? Theta, different brain, zeta. And if we're not getting actual enough, right, rest and sleep, physical sleep, our body's not going into those different brain waves in order to do the mending and the healing that it needs to do while we are at rest. Because we've all been told you got to get up and go to work and go to school and do and get up at the crack of dawn and run around the clock and the sun and go to bed at night and do it all again in the morning. So we've been programmed to, right, that's what we're supposed to do, right? So that's what we've been supposed to do up until this now moment in time, because this is Saturn return. And all the big daddy planets just started going forward. Pluto, Jupiter, Saturn, everything's in motion now. It's like they all juiced up, they all gassed up, boom, 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 and now they're like, boom, 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 right? In motion, moving forward. So now he's singing, there's blood in the water. Don't drink the water. And see what all the cards fell. All the cards fell, and here's trust again. So I'm not going to shuffle these anymore. Sorrow. And it's okay to feel sad about things, but we don't want to get stuck there, because that's hell. That's beyond hell. stagnation. And stagnant water is dead water, right? He just said, this stuff is delicious. We want our water to be high. Like, again, every vibration creates form. So the things that we think, right? Like Dr. Seuss, oh, the things we think, the thoughts that we have and that we swallow and program our central nervous system, right? Our spine to run off of, right? The beliefs that we're believing, the belief system that we're allowing our system to run off of, right? So we don't need to freak out. We just need to, it's like, okay, like when our data is, right, our storage and stuff is clogged up on the phone or in the computer or, you know, our room or what have you, right? We just have to clean it up a little. We have to go through it and get rid of some stuff to make room and space. So we have, right, a little elbow room. So we have movement. Right? So we don't have to be like, it doesn't have to be bad. We just have to do it. Is it going to be fun and like, yeah, again, it's like constructive criticism. It's like, yeah, give me more. It's like, we're not like, yeah, criticize me more. However, if we're not allowing constructive criticism, how are we going to see ourselves in a way to be able to improve? Or to be able to at least take a look at it and take something into consideration, like, okay, well, right? Because that's being a mature divine being. It doesn't have to be right or wrong. We just have to be open to it, open to receive new ideas and not get stuck in, right, repeat patterns of thinking and the same old, right, same old song and dance of da 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 and da da da. That's just the way it is, and money makes the world go round, and da 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 da. It's like, whoa. You're just saying that you don't want to, and that's fine. But we don't need all that other extra, like. Right? This is where we're like, we're cutting off trimming off the fat. So if that's your free will decision, then that's absolutely cool. Just make sure that you've done the research and you're coming from a place that you've gone through and looked a little bit deeper, right? Don't judge a book by its cover than what you've been presented with, because that's not necessarily a gift, right? You're not present in your now moments and able to think for yourself, right? DRI, think for yourself. Don't rely on someone else. What we got? Comparison, the miser, and awareness. So maybe be aware that someone's trying to compare. We got misers showing up in there. And again, jealousy, envy, right? The things that anybody can feel, having compassion and not, you know, because that's sad. That somebody feels so not loved that they, right? But if someone's feeling, say, jealousy, envy, in the comparison mode, feeling like they got to hoard material and like, right, and get in the middle of other people's destiny and lives and what have you, you know, they're really admiring something in another person, place, or thing, which is really part of them that they just haven't unlocked and acknowledged yet, right? So you really are part of you're there. You're just looking at the treasure in the wrong place, right? The treasure's within. So looking out, trying to find it, we're never going to find it. We're always going to be sad, right? And that's the sorrow. It's not out here anymore. With the sorrow card, right? Then it puts us in sorrow, a lower vibrational frequency, which is heavy, right? Heaven can be heavy. What goes up must come down, right? The cloud, iCloud, and then gathers a whole bunch of either storage or rain, right? And then rains down on the ground, right? So, but it holds all that water, right? Emotion. and then it could feel very lonely. And then what happens? It sinks all the way down to the bottom. It's like Titanic, bloop, when she throws the heart of the ocean all the way down to the bottom. Big sandbags. I'm just picking up my cards. I'm not acting. I'm not in the acting playful. I'm just picking up. 52 pickup down here. 74 pickup, however many cards are in the deck. So yeah, look, guilt, stress, right? We don't want this to be, stress is the killer. Guilt, how come I did, shoulda, coulda, woulda. Again, those are all right feelings that can bring us down, right? So they call it depression. And like that's the thing too, like say if you ever like yeah, talk to a psychiatrist or psychologist, right? Or beings that are like musicians or on state famous, you know, for sports or what have you. You can go through super highs, but everybody's like, yeah, screaming their name, etc. Then they gotta go home, change diapers, get yelled at. How come you're gone? Da 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 da. Nobody really says hi. You go to the grocery store, mundane life, so it can bring you to a very low depressed state. So there's a lot, you know, the peaks and dips are very high and then very low, right? So to balance that out can be really hard. And then that's when people also get called, right? Manic depressant, ADHD, I got labels and names and try a pill for this and right, hold on to your fame. Just puts us in positions of a friend of, and I were talking about that earlier too. It's like, you know, yeah, when you have, everybody wants to be your friend, right? Whether you got, you know, money or, you know, the house to have everybody over at, or right, the drugs or whatever it is, right? If you have it, you're everybody's friend. But the minute that you're asked out, if you try to call any of those people for help, it's like silence. You can hear a pin drop, right? So having discernment again, who we keep around us and who we allow in, and to run our program, right? Whose sauce we're gonna drink, whose words we're gonna accept, and right, take that prescription as our own. You know, I need a little sippy sip. So good. 2 hours in now. I think we're gonna probably call it a reading. I think we covered lots of bases and had some good fun and some good, I think, I don't even know, you know, hopefully we just went with the flow. That's all I can do. Hopefully a few things in there were good little seeds or nuggets that will sprout or, you know, bloom into something, blooming onions, beautiful. And you know, just keep swimming. And please like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you can get notified. And yeah, I'm gonna play around and see also what there's some other platforms. So I will I'll make some announcements on here when I add them to the venue. I have like 1 or 2 things on Anchor, which I really enjoyed that. I think I'm gonna probably do some more podcasts on Anchor, which is just audio, not video. So we'll see. We're gonna play some more and you know, See what brings us a transmission. See what transmissions we get and where it takes us. Spreading of conditions, influence, impact. That's what we were just talking about, right? Who's Kool-Aid we drinking? Brother, sister. Like that. Natural, authentic, real, and organic. The call of the night. Daring, adventure, excitement, right? Daring to be self, right? Believe in yourself. Which that can be a really scary thing instead of right staying in line with all like being a sheeple, you know. And but again, it's okay to be that too. A lot of it, right, it's okay to have guidance and be right and when we don't know where we're going. So again, it's just having awareness, right? Conscious aware, being a little more consciously aware. What are you saying? And the Dave Matthews behind us. And don't forget, the most important gift is the gift of love. And love conquers all is the next card. Enduring loyalty, eternal love, lasting commitment. Lots of wolves. Special to me. Maynard, madness, ecstatic ritual, energy release. So there's so many different things, right? Like fantasy, love conquers all, the call of the night, shadow side, el natural, right? Bringing all these things into balance, right? And accepting self and loving self, and just allowing, right? A lot of that chit chatter in the head, to allow that transmission to sometimes. But what do I do? That's that right there is the key. That's what we want to be able to come to, where the breath, right, meets in the middle of the chest, right? The water, the air, the desert. This is right the buoyancy point right here, the sweet spot in the middle, and be grounded. So when we can find that spot again and again, then right, we're in. Meaning that now right, it's like getting your license to drive. You start to have a little more faith in yourself and a little more balance, because you start to see the synchronicities and you start to become more aware of, right, both sides and then some, right? It's like over here, and then it's like oh, and then over there, and then there could be something. So all of our thoughts and feelings can bring us in, all like while we're standing in all these different right, energetic places where we can travel through the mind, right, with our thoughts and our feelings and our dreams, and right, then bring it back, right? It's like the stream goes out, we project, and then bring it back in, and don't just right let everything shooting out all over the place. Oh, bro, I like Alec. We're probably Alec Baldwin. I'm gonna say that. What the fuck happened on that set? Speaking of set, I feel very horrible. That really is horrible. The right, again, the guilt that one has to carry. Like really, what a horrible, right, tragedy. But then again, so now what is that bringing awareness to? There's way deeper, right? So there's lots of raw feelings, but what are the things that we all, as we the people, need to look at? What's the what story is being presented, right, by the archons, that we all need to take a look at, so that we don't keep repeating the same fucking stupid ass mistakes, right? So there's you know, reasons that things get brought. And if we're not looking with the proper eyes in order to untie the knots that bind us, then we can't go running around, right, shooting our mouths off and pointing and blaming others and holding our hands out, expecting ABC 1, 2, 3, and then getting all mad because, right, Johnny, Jenny, and freaking Bobby got it, and like, how come we didn't, right? It's like, wait, and then trying to blame it on whatever, right? So, and again, it's like such a slippery slope, right? Because it's like we all deserve, but it's like, but we're all going to get what we need in the right moment in time, right? So, but if you just give up, it's like anybody that's gotten anywhere, they have a struggle story. It's not like, oh yeah, I just like walked out the door and like went and got, and then yeah, it's like that never happens, right? So have some patience. So we don't all keep becoming patients, looking for doctors and answers and facts to tell us what the fuck was, what happened, or what do we do now? But what happened to bring us, right? What have we been doing? What kind of life have you been living? What kind of food do you eat? What kind of thoughts do you think? What's your pattern of sleep? What are all the, like, what kind of stress are you around, and what do you allow? You know, what do you just put up with and not, and passive, and just da, 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 and that you're not, that you're kind of angry or bitter or resentful about? You know, be honest with yourself. You know, like, oh, I should have done that, da 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 da. Okay, well, maybe if you didn't do that yet, okay, well, take a look at that. What else did you do instead? And would you change that if you could? And if you did, then what might have happened instead, right? So it's like, this is how we travel back in time and get to take a look at our books of life and go through, right, with Big Daddy Saturn, right? This is, right, Saturn return is, right, Big Daddy karma planet. So we go through our karma, all the things, books, all the things we did up until this now point in time. It's like, boom. So it's okay. It's like, you know, nobody likes those things. It's like being audited when you have a business, or going to the doctor, you know, get a checkup, get a cleaning. It's like, am I okay? Right? We're like, so it puts us in a state of fear, especially when we're putting ourselves in a vulnerable position and asking someone else to diagnose or tell us, right? That constructive criticism thing. We're allowing someone else to, right, project onto us in a sense. But that doesn't always mean that they're right. And it doesn't always mean that, right? It's like if you go to the doctor and you go get your blood pressure and your what have you taken, they'll tell you to, most of the time, because you're nervous, because it's the natural state of being. Like if you get cop lights come out, the sirens come behind you, whether you did anything wrong or not, right? It's like red and blue, red and blue, red and blue. And sirens also aren't mermaids. Sirens, right? Lured in Homer's Odyssey, all the men out to sea, right? So, you know, again, just all the sayings and things and stories and myths and legends and scriptures and, right, treasure hunts. You know, the earth that we live upon is so many things, right? Hero's journey, exoduses, pilgrimages, right? Just human life, right? Star seeds and souls jumping from the, right, fallen angels coming down in order to also experience life or help do God's work, and etc. Right? There's so many different beings here and reasons for us all being here, multiple reasons, right? Because again, it's like you're not here just to go to nursery school, just to be a child of your mother and father, just to be a mother and father, just to be a husband or a wife, just to be a brother or a sister or whatever job that you're right now have chose, or right has chosen you to, right, you chose your soul to, right, be, to do right now. That's something you're doing. Is that you, who you are? It's something that you're partaking in and doing. So it's a part of you. You partake in it, but it's not you, right? It's just one of the many things that you do, which is again what makes us multi-dimensional beings. We're so many different things at once. So to put a label, right? Stick it where it counts. Like the peace sign V for the V word and the other V word. Going viral. And what airborne? What does going viral mean too, right? Like we're born as a human. First we're in our mother, right? First we're out in the ether. But first, but speaking of the human, you ever heard it right now, right? So we're in an amniotic sac, we're in liquid. So when we're birthed upside down, mostly, right? Unless we're breached. When we're birthed out of the mother's womb, out of that warm amniotic liquid, the first thing that happens is we have to breathe in air. Ow, and it hurts. Babies cry, right, when we're born. So father and Lil, father of the air, right? It's like we get hurt by the father as soon as we come out of the womb. And we have to breathe both ways. That's our first duality. Two atoms, right? For in and out. In and out, burger. So in is one way, interdimensional. Out, outer space is the other. Those are two different entities, two different fathers, right, that we have. Like we breathe in oxygen, we breathe out carbon dioxide. And then also too, super long video, 212. Oh, it's 404. Reptilians, like there's like men of the Anunnaki, Palladian wars, right? Star Wars, etc. The star systems that have been right fighting for the resources of right, say the planet and etc. That's all out of the narratives and stories of such natures. And to a certain extent, right, there's right always truth mixed in with some twists. Twist the lemon, twist the lime, a little twisty twist. Rhymey time. But yeah, the reptilians from the other star systems breathe in nitrogen, not oxygen. So a lot of their I think that maybe fear. So I have to tap more into that. But the point being was, I was like, my friend asked me yesterday, so if they breathe in nitrogen, then what do they breathe out? And I'm like, So I tried to tap in what spirit, like, and I was like, I'm not really sure, but super good question. Like, I didn't even go there, right? Like, I didn't even, good question. So then, where's my book? Last night, I opened up my periodic table book. And this is why I just want to share this and then I'm going to go. But MO. Molybdenum. Anyhow, this. I don't know how you pronounce it properly. Molybdenum. 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 I don't know. However, atomic weight is 95.95. It's a transition metal. It's in group 6, period 5. So check this out, because I was like, great, he asked me that, and just last night I just was like, oh, this is how I try to, this is not how I try, this is how I end up receiving a lot of information. It's like, I just happen to open a book or how we do write cards. Energy never lies. People do. So when we're just open and I don't really ask too many questions like, what am I supposed to do? Once we start, right, 3-card Montying and wanting to know and that stuff, right? No peeking. Once we're doing it more, then we're gonna get misled. But if we just allow, like, what am I supposed to see? And then allow it to be, and then allow it to present itself and right. So if you're watching a movie, you're watching, you're right. So the same kind of concept, right? Which is again, right? Faith with works, work with faith. So I'll read this and then, yeah. So that was the question asked. And then later last night, I opened to this page and then I turned my lights off and everything. And I had this book here and I was like, oh shit, I didn't read that yet. I was like, let me just read that quick before I go to sleep. And so I put my light back on and read it. And then I was like, oh my gosh. And I shared it with my boy. I was like, look at it. I was like, we're just, this, like the question we just asked. So if we breathe in nitrogen, what do we breathe out? And I'm not sure if this is what we would breathe out, but this has something to do with, so see what you think after you receive. So molybdenum is a high performer, like super soldier, right? One of the 5 refractory metals. This silver gray metal has an extreme resistance to heat that it shares with its near neighbors, niobium, tantalum, tungsten, and rhenium, or rhenium. Adding molybdenum to steel has the same effect as adding tungsten, toughening up the metal and keeping it hard at high temperature. Molybdenum steel is a high-speed steel, hard-wearing and capable of drilling faster than standard high-carbon steel. Right, and we do like carbon dating, or in carbon creates life here. Carbon, carbon, but that there's 13 root races. So not everyone has the right different blood types. Not everyone has the same right makeup and the same right reactive states to different things, right, and etc. Especially right metals from that part of the periodic table too. If you're from more earthly or oceanic, you're more from the aquatic. So it's right, which bodies of water are you from? Where your periodic what your periodic table, right, your motherboard is made of is going to be different. That's why our natal charts that's science. It's not like, oh, just some hocus pocus horoscopy blah blah blah. It some of it is because a lot of mimicking right misers like to make money. So those that worship money or that just haven't been able to be natural and who they are, because otherwise what? It's like you can't go to, for how long? You couldn't go to a chiropractor and still with insurance covering it, which is one of the most natural ways to heal, right? Acupuncture, chiropractic, aromatherapy, all these natural, it's not natural to mix a whole bunch of things, smush it into pill form and shove that into your body, where then your body becomes then a cat litter box and a big sandbag full of like wet sand. Your intestines are just hanging on to all that granulation. And then maybe sugar, white sugar and all that on top of it, and like, or soda and whatever. It's like, think if you put that in your vehicle, in your actual car to drive, it's like right till it's split. But I mean, think along those same lines, like how we, right, we are what we eat. So it doesn't mean like net, but again, discernment as we right open our eyes and become a little more aware of what we've been doing and what we've been putting in. And at first, healthy food may taste like shit to you, like ew. Because you're so used to eating sugary, sweet stuff. But then I guarantee after, if you do like the 2-week lemon challenge, drink a whole lemon in like room temperature water for 2 weeks on an empty stomach every morning, you'll reset your whole body, and pH, the pH balance will balance it out, and you'll get the like the alkalinity that you need to jumpstart, right? Jumpstart my heart. And that's a very inexpensive way to, you know, so yeah, empty stomach, a whole lemon and a glass of water, glass of water, get a case of Poland Spring, you know, use clean water, living water. You know, you can speak over it. That's what they do in Holland, right? Like, ooh, thank you, right? Refresh and generate me, refresh and regenerate me, you know, awesome healing water. You know, just being grateful for it is like, right? Anyhow, so, and then just, yeah, whole lemon, empty stomach, in every morning, 2 weeks. And just see how you feel. You'll feel different first day. Third day, you'll absolutely feel it. 2 weeks, you're like, wow. But that'll also reset, like, say, your taste buds and stuff like that. So you won't necessarily want to jump for, like, you know, sugar and what have you. When we have those urges and desires and stuff, that's really like little parasites in our bodies that are like, feed me, see more. It's the parasites that are hungry. And then so you're actually feeding, right, the gremlins. Don't feed them after midnight. So that's like our little gremlins that are inside. They're like, so yeah, you know, just different ways to kind of be playful and how to like take a look at, you know, how we're treating ourselves, the self-care that we're giving, you know, ourselves. So I don't mean like be perfect, because I love ice cream, and I'll tell you right now, I'll eat a whole fudgy the whale cake. I may leave a little bit because I don't know if I could get the whole thing in still, but I've done it before. So, you know, sometimes we have to feed like our little child self, or our, right? It's like, I know I'm gonna have a stomachache after that, you know. But I fed a different part of myself, right? Did it make me happy? Did I have fun doing it? Or did I share it with a friend, you know, and like, right, you know, that's what we did. Me and a friend, we each had a spoon and we ate a whole fudgy the whale cake. But I ate the I polished that mother effer off. That was a while back, but it was fun. I remember it well, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. I do not regret it. So, okay, getting back to molybdenum. Molybdenum? Molybdenum? All right. Straight face. Despite its rarity, molybdenum is an important catalyst. So catalyst, twin flames, false twin flames, etc. too. These words mean something. I know I felt like that a while back. Like you know, it's like, oh, and all this stuff. And then it was like getting injected into a parallel universe. Like, what the fuck just happened? We're in fucking Kansas no more, Toto. You too? And stay off the fucking yellow brick road. That'll take you straight to the land of poppies. Emerald City. Careful. Red and blue make purple. So like the natives and what have you, we say the mighty purple path. I also say purple is royalty too, because we don't pick a side. We allow things to blend, and right, that's Zen, so to speak, right? Instead of black or white and wrong and right, it's like, okay, there's this and there's that in 3D, right? 3D glasses, red and blue. So I can see both, acknowledge both, and blend the two, and be that pillar, that third pillar in the middle, right? Like the scale, balancing the scale. Doesn't mean we always do it perfect. Fucking hell no. Do we sometimes trip with our freaking plates? Yep. Hell yeah. And that's part of, right, the life experience. So that's okay too. We pick ourselves up and we try again, right? After we, and when we fall and make a mistake, or, right? And is it a mistake, or is it something that we're gaining because we're getting to learn something, right? When we fall. So it depends on how we're viewing and looking, you know. It don't feel like that when we're going through the whatever the fuck we're falling into or fell upon or fell into, right? Like sometimes we, you know, it's like we get ejected off, we fucking face dive, face plant. It's like on the pavement, road rash and shit, right? Get all rosy. But we heal, don't we? And after we heal, aren't we able to look back at wherever what we healed from and be like, damn, I fucking like never thought I was gonna make it through that. And then we're able to share it with others so that they and we can all get through these harder times together, because it's like, oh, that happened to me too. And right. So now we can relate, and it may not work for you, but my experience and what I found was ABC. It may help you, it may not, right? But at least we can share about it. And right, if that doesn't, then somebody else that, right? But once we start to like connect, right, and allow, we start to see that we're not so alone. And then we do start to receive more gifts and tools, so we have more ability in, you know, order to become more harmonious and balanced and like, right, and playful and fun and actually enjoy fucking living life again. Isn't that the goal? I mean, unless you just want to make money, try to take it with you and die and be put some in some whatever, I don't know. I mean, if that's your goal, then like where we send you love. Like that's so morbid. But death in the manner of, right, allowing what we don't any longer need to fall away and let go of it, of what no longer serves us, to allow room for new things to be reborn. That's being part of the birthing process and allowing, right, and accepting that we don't have control over certain things. We just have to allow, right, things to develop and grow. Keep spraying chemicals on things and you want them to grow all big and then sell them for extra inflated prices in the store, and now they're missing all the minerals and nutrients that they needed to even provide in the body in the first place, especially if you imported them from somewhere to another in a plane or a train or a boat or a, once they're picked off of their living source, now they're dead, so they're no longer attached to their, right, to life, so they start to lose their vibrational source, so they already start to become more dense, not as dense nutritionally. That's why, right, to eat more high vibrationally is also to, right, to eat more local, because those, the fruit and vegetables and things that are where we are in the same vibration as us. So when we help our community grow, right, gardens or grow ourselves, and then we're eating of that, it's like your body's like fucking what? Woohoo! Super fucking happy, you know, and you can feel it, right? I can feel it. Super. And it's actually less expensive, and you can actually like, right, you and me together, do something. I mean, this is what I like, all of us should be, right? Like, where's our tax money? Where do we all, are we all partaking? It's like, it's simple little things that we can all do in order to make huge big impacts, right, and be part of the higher vibrational healing we all need, instead of running around asking how much we need and whatever, and right, being stuck in that labyrinth or that maze, you know. And again, it's Halloween time. They got corn mazes everywhere. All right. So mullibidibidim. Despite its rarity, molybdenum is an important catalyst in both oil refining and biological systems. In bacterial enzymes, the element catalyzes the breaking of the nitrogen bond. Got that? In bacteria, and what creates life? Bacteria creates life in water, right? Bacteria and water are, right? Yeah. Yeah, that's why Gaia and Uranus, right? Are the father and mother, right? Planet Earth, spirit and bacteria, and the ether. That's what, right? So, but see, that doesn't mean, right, that though those are elements that come together to produce life. That's not two human physical beings that had physical sexual intercourse with human bodies in order to produce the earth, give birth to the earth, right? That's elemental, Elohim, right? Like I am Legion, there are many. L, O in the middle, which Saturn and the moon are also feminine planets. Feminine energies, planets, feminine, right? So yeah, L, right? And O is feminine energy, right? Not zero, not nothing, not nothing, no thing, right? Again, like going back to the cell, anything can come from a blank slate, from the space of, right, from space, from the black canvas of the triple darkness. So yeah, L, oh, him, right? And we sing hymns in church. So yeah, it gets deep. All of that physical terms. Okay, hold on. I really want to just finish this first before I get fucking fluttered off into Neverland. So yeah, oil finding in biological systems. In bacterial enzymes, the element catalyzes the breaking of the nitrogen bond. So in bacterial enzymes, the element catalyzes the breaking of the nitrogen bond, enabling nitrogen gas in the atmosphere to be absorbed. Nitrogen fixing plants such as legumes play host to these bacteria in their roots, providing a pathway for nitrogen to enter the biosphere. The metal is an essential trace element for nearly all living things, necessary to the function of dozens of enzymes. Mineral kingdom, we were just saying, nutrient rich, mineral rich, yeah, and enzymes, yeah. And there's good and bad bacteria too. Even so, you won't need more than about 300 milligrams in a lifetime. So it doesn't, and again, sometimes when we need something, it doesn't mean when we go outside source and try to put it in, the body's not going to absorb it that way. Right? So I'm going to do a little more research on this, but I wanted to share that because, yeah, that I feel like it meant a lot. And again, right, I barely scratched the little surfacey surface, so we'll see what comes, comes through a little more. So if you want to do a little, yeah, playful research on that, yeah, like with that all night mean and come into play in the playbooks, so to speak. So how long we in now? 2.5 hours. So I'm so grateful for you and your time and energy and me, because we couldn't be doing this right now if it wasn't for the both of us and whoever else shows up and is part of and seen and unseen. So mad love, and please like, subscribe, hit the bell, and hope you had fun. I'll see you next time. Be well.